Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to do something a little different. This is something that's been taking up a lot of my time. I have been working on a fantasy novel for the past few weeks. So I'm going to do kind of like a week in my life writing of every day when I kind of sit down to write. I'm going to film it and let you know how I'm doing. So I absolutely love reading fantasy books and have had an idea for a fantasy novel for a while now. And I just recently started getting really serious about it, and most of it came because I found this website. I think it's called Pacemaker Press. It's a website that lets you put in like approximately how much you want your novel or whatever sort of like writing project you're working on to be, and then a completion date. So I started uploading to that website the middle of March somewhere, and I did my goal for my first draft to be completed by the end of May. And I did put a really small word count, so I only put 50,000 words, and I'm already at over 10,000 words, so I have a feeling it's gonna be more than that, but I thought that was like a good starter goal to be like, I could do 50,000 words in like 2-ish months. So I'm hoping to exceed that, but I'm definitely behind, so I'm going to film it and let you know how it works. I don't know, just share the process. I thought it would be fun. So it is Monday the 4th. I'm going to do a writing sprint, which I usually do those for about 25 minutes. That's like I set a Pomodoro timer and I'm not allowed to do anything else. Not allowed to look at my phone, not allowed to use the internet or anything, and I just try to write as many words as possible. And sometimes I'm not even writing like official dialogue. I feel like I'll just write a paragraph about what I want to happen in a certain chapter. So my whole story is kind of mapped out. I have about 20 chapters outlined. I feel like kind of what I do is I have like a concept for the chapter, or I know I have major plot points throughout the story and where I want it to go, but I haven't really figured out a lot of the kind of like in-between part. So I feel like I'm kind of making it up as I go along, which is really fun actually, because then I start writing in a scene and something just starts flowing really well, and then all of a sudden we're kind of going in a different direction. But basically, I'm just going to set my Pomodoro, I'm going to put in my headphones, and I'm going to start writing, and I'm just going to show you guys my week of writing. So yeah, here we go.
Searching for something that ain't lost.
So I realized the last time I wrote that huge amount of almost 1,800 words, and I haven't really read what I wrote yet. So I feel like instead of trying to write right now, I need to go back through the area that I wrote and read it and make sure I still like it, because I went a little different with it than I thought I was originally going to, and I'm kind of debating whether or not my story is a young adult fantasy novel or a new adult. So I feel like the chapter I wrote is more adult fantasy rather than young adult fantasy. So we'll see. I gotta figure out what I'm doing. So this is the website I was talking about, Pacemaker Planner, and basically I have my book right here. I started it and showed like how many words I had originally. So I think I had like 4,500 words when I started using this. And then I told it how much I want to finish at about 50,000 words. And then every day I just put in how much I have completed. So all the green are ones that I've logged. I have not logged the past couple days or written. So I did last Monday, I did 1,728 words, and that was over my word count. For like the daily word count, it wants me to do about like 600 and something. I definitely went over the word count because I was really on a roll and I worked on it for a couple hours. So my average is about 713 a day. Typically, the longest streak I had was only 4 days of working on it consistently. I usually always skip like 2 of the weekend days. But this weekend we were really busy, so I did not have time to write at all this weekend. Also, I read and like wrote way too much last week, and I feel like I burnt out on stories and just had no desire to enter into a fantasy world. But anyways, this is the website. It's really, really awesome. And it's been really helpful so far. Like the fact that I have 10,000 words and like no, I'll be writing more. It's just like really helpful to keep on track. So technically I'm at 13% complete. I have 58 days left. So I should probably be a little bit farther along now that we're in April. But who knows, maybe today I'll make up for some of the missing time. But it kind of auto-corrects itself, so let's see. I can add in some progress here. So every day I basically wrote 0. So if I put in this 0 here, save progress, it's gonna like readjust. Yeah, so let's see what happens. It's gonna change. It's gonna want me to write a lot of words today, which we'll see what happens. So if we go Friday, tell it 0, and then we hit save progress. 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, now we're at 664 words per day. And we just have 2 more days to log, so let's see. 0. Save. Does this little confetti thing every time. It's kind of cute. Now it's at 687 words. But some days I did write, so my average was 713. So I'm hoping that won't be too hard. But anyways, let's see if we can reach this word goal of 687 today. So I'm going to start my Pomodoro timer. I've got my cup of coffee here, and I have a whole playlist for writing. Definitely named it Misunderstood Villains and Other Morally Gray Characters, because that's what had to be done. And I got a nice little fantasy image here that I love. Yeah, so I have a lot of different music on here. I've been listening to this playlist so much because I've been writing a lot, but this is definitely not the music I listen to on a regular basis, so it's kind of crazy. A lot of it's very villainy. Gotta get myself into that like angry character mentality because my character has a lot of stuff going on. So I've been trying to listen to all this, but I have this little fun playlist on Spotify in case you need some some misunderstood villains to jam to. This is a part I really liked. I wrote in last time. I really like when I'm starting to enjoy, like things are starting to come together and make a little bit of sense, and it's not just like a tiny lone scene, it's like it links to another scene that I wrote. We're getting somewhere, which is exciting. I'm really excited that I reread this. It made me really happy to keep writing, so yes. Okay, I think I'm gonna continue with this chapter. I switched into a different point of view of another character, so I think I'm gonna try to work on that, or at least like brainstorm ideas of what he's thinking. So, because I'm trying to see if I can make this story where I switch point of views between 2 of the main characters.
For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails.
So I've been writing for about 15 minutes now, and I think I might have finished this chapter with the other point of view. I think I have. I think I'm getting like kind of confused with what I'm doing right here. So I'm gonna stop here and maybe jump to something else. But I just wanted to see how many words I've written in the last 15 minutes. Let me pull up my little calculator. So before I started writing, I had 10,205 words. Okay, so now I'm at 10,397 words, so I've written 192 words so far. That's not very many. I thought it was more than this, but how many am I supposed to write today? I'm supposed to write 687 words today. So technically I should write 495 more. 495 more. Okay, so let's see if we can do at least another 200 words in the next 15 minutes. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of confused with what I'm doing, so I'm like nervous to keep writing because I feel like two scenes are merging into one, and I thought they were gonna be, this other scene was gonna be like way later on, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'll just split this and add more to the other scene I'd already started writing and just kind of join them together. Little update. So my 25 minutes are over. It's been about a half an hour now, and I am at 10,502. So I already did the math because I'm weird like that, and I have written 297 words, which is about half. I'm like close to half of the number that I should be writing today. So I added some more to another paragraph or another chapter, and yeah. Oh, awesome. So let's add over here. So I'm gonna update this number here. Let's edit it. We didn't do 192. What's the number we did? 297. 297 instead. Alrighty, it is Tuesday, and this is the second day of trying to write for a full week and see how many words I can get done on my fantasy novel that I am writing. So yeah, let's see how we did. So last night I ended up writing more after I videoed. I ended up kind of writing late at night before I went to bed, which I probably should have filmed because then you could have seen something a little bit different than me sitting at my kitchen table. But let's see how many words I wrote. So on Monday, I wrote a total of 957 words. So I went over my word count, which was 687, which is very exciting. So I went over that word count, and I actually ended up writing after midnight as well because I was really on a roll, and I wrote 514 words after midnight. So I counted them towards today. So technically I'm almost at my word count for the day, which is, I think it was probably like 689, but right now it's showing 685, but that's for the rest of the days. So my goal is to at least do another 100 or 200 words, but I think I'm gonna sit down and do another writing sprint of about 25 minutes. I kind of like fleshed out a few more scenes, so I mostly just wrote like a summary in some of them so that I wouldn't forget what I wanted to write today. And I think I'll just take some of those little scenes and try to add to them. It's really coming together and I'm very excited. So I talked to one of my friends last night, and she is a book editor on the side. And so we are going to be chatting on Thursday or Friday of this week, so I'll definitely show that. And I gave her like a first chapter-ish, I don't know. It was like a teaser excerpt of a chapter that I want to put at the beginning of the book, and then I gave her like a chapter. It's not like the first chapter of the book, but she read through that and has a bunch of notes, and I really just want to go over the major plot points with her and make sure, I want to go over the major plot points with her and just kind of see what I'm envisioning for this novel, for this book, is for it to actually be 3, but I'm wondering if that's really gonna work. As I'm writing, I'm just realizing that the scenes that I'm putting in there are taking up a lot more of the story than I thought they would, and we haven't even really done any of the like background or like more world building kind of stuff. So I'm just starting to think that the ending I foresaw for this particular book may be another book later. So I'm not sure. So I'm looking forward to chatting with her, making sure this all makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot to figure out, but it's super exciting. The story just keeps coming. I have so many thoughts, and I'm just excited. So let's get to writing. I'm going to pull out my writing playlist and set a 25-minute sprint and see how much writing I can get done in these next 25 minutes. So before I get started, I just wanted to show you my word count. We are at 11,675. So here we go. We're only on the second day of the week and we are doing pretty good. Let's look at, you can actually look at how many words you're supposed to do per week. So let's look at that really quick. So per week, yay, so it would have me do 4,211 for this week, and I'm already at 1,471, and it's only day 2. I'm so excited. Okay, let's put that back to the days because I just kind of like that better. And I'm at 16% over here of my total word count. So my average daily words are 718. And now we're on a 2-day streak. Heck yeah. So hopefully I can just kind of keep this going. I might not be able to write tomorrow. I feel like I will be busy, but maybe the next 2 days. The only problem is we usually are kind of busy on the weekends. But I'm sure I can write a little bit at least on one of the days this weekend. Or I will just try to write 1,000 words each day, and then maybe we'll be okay. So I was gonna start writing, but because I'm talking with my friend who's an editor, I realized that I'm starting to get stuck on things with like the general arc of the story. I've been using this book I got like maybe last summer. I don't know, I got it a while ago, maybe almost a year ago. And I've been slowly reading through it and it's been really helpful. It goes through a lot of the like famous books. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. There are a lot of different books in here, but it kind of uses different examples of what makes stories work and kind of going through like making sure you have a good 3-act story. So, and then also that each of your characters has like a character arc. That's been really helpful, and a lot of world building advice. So I've been using this a lot. It's been really great. Here we go. Going through like the character arcs and motivation. So they give like examples of Silence of the Lambs and Lord of the Rings, and those are like, and then also Wizard of Oz, which was really easy. Wizard of Oz, which was really easy to kind of like get a picture of their like external and internal motivations. And I feel like I'm stuck at a point where my main character, I like need to flesh her motivations out a bit more, because, and also like the main character, and then like I guess he's like the secondary character. I don't know, he's another main character with a lot of growth and change in his arc, but he's not the main character. So I feel like I kind of need to outline the story with their different like growth points that I want them to have, the plot points that will contribute to that and like make that arc happen. So I think I might actually like write a better outline, because I'm getting up to, I have 21 chapters outlined, but I'm feeling like now that I'm writing them that some of them need to be split into double chapters, and so then I need to add stuff on both ends of the chapters and kind of like fill in the world a little bit more. I'm starting to get to a point where certain scenes or certain chapters could have two directions, and I haven't really decided which direction I want to go with them, so I think a better outline would be good for me to talk to my friend and get her opinion and kind of like give her a clearer picture of like where we're going, rather than just like more scenes for her to edit or like give thoughts, because I really just want someone to help me like make sure that the whole story makes sense and not that it's just like snippets of good like scenes. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyways, I'm rambling about this. So I think I'm gonna outline their motivations and their character arc. So let's get to that. Thursday, and I don't think that I updated you guys on what I completed on Tuesday with my writing outline. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. I didn't write anything yesterday, I was busy, so today I'm getting back at it and seeing how much I can write in a week. Today though, I am meeting with a friend who is an editor on the side, and she is the first person that I have let read part of my book so far, part of this first rough draft, and she has some thoughts. So I'm excited to hear what her thoughts are, but also I've been really wanting to talk over the whole plot and premise with someone. So on Tuesday I did a whole outline and like character arcs of the main two characters to kind of see where I'm going with all of them in the book. So I got a lot done. I got down to, let's see, I did at least the plot outline for up to chapter 13, and I actually added a few more chapters in there, so that was really helpful. It was really easy to kind of break up different scenes that I already had, or different plot points that I knew I wanted to happen into multiple chapters or multiple scenes. Yeah, so I already added more chapters because now I have 25 chapters, and before I had like maybe 20, so I added 5. Wow. Yeah, so I only did the character arc part for the first couple chapters, and then I technically have it completely mapped out, I think the way I want it to be, up until chapter 15, because I've actually written the middle portion there, or those, I've written most of chapter 12, 14, and 15. So I didn't really like outline those even though they're there because I've written most of it, so I'll just do like a little summary. Yeah, so it was kind of like the beginning parts I didn't have completely mapped out because I know where I want my story to go, but I didn't really know how we were getting there in the beginning. So I did a lot of work on all of that. Let me show you. So let's see. Yeah, so this is my whole. So just a quick update, it is now Friday, and after I talked to my friend who's an editor yesterday, we ended up spending so much time talking about the book that I ran out of time to be able to do anything. So I have to put 0 words written in for yesterday. So, whoops. So now it says I need to be writing 709 words today to keep on target. So I'm definitely gonna put some time into writing today and take in a lot of those things that she said while we were looking over my outline and the chapters that I gave her to read. So I think I'm gonna keep writing because we had a couple new ideas, and then I'll go back to editing another day. Hello, it is Friday. I did not check back in yesterday after I had a chat with my friend who's an editor. I gave her like a chapter and a little small excerpt of another chapter, and we kind of looked over my outline, and I sent her the rest of what I've written, so a lot more than she originally got. But we just kind of talked about the overall plot of my book and things she liked and didn't like, and she gave me a lot of thoughts and advice. So I'm going to start working on it today. I'm really excited. Unfortunately, because I didn't write for 2 days in a row because I was busy on Wednesday, I am a bit behind on my word count. So I'm supposed to write 709 words today to stay on target. So I think I've got it set that I'm going to try to write 2 sprints, which are 25 minutes each. So I'm gonna go for that and see how it goes. But right now I'm going to eat my little soup lunch and work on it and think about what I'm gonna write next. So I did my whole outline, and I'm just gonna pick a chapter and start writing down some of my thoughts. And I'll check in with you soon and see how far I get.
Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got our lines crossed? We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart, and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way?